Hi everyone, it's Wayback Wednesday here at MMORPG.com. I'm your host Rob Lashley, and I have with me tonight the team from Turbine behind Asheron's Call. And so I guess if you guys real quick want to go around the horn and introduce yourselves, because I know there's quite a handful of you out here tonight with us.
Well, we'll start. I'm Amanda Groh. I'm with the community team.
I'm Rob Ciccolini. I'm the producer.
Jared Sears, I'm one of the content designers.
I'm Scott Parker, one of the content designers.
Eric Deans, one of the content designers.
I'm Kim, I'm QA.
So there's a whole bunch of us here ready to take you through dinner.
All right, so you guys we got a full party. We can do some raid content. But all right, so for those of us that don't know or aren't familiar with Asheron's Call, this is what, your 13th year that you guys have been around now?
That is correct. 13 years. We just had a big update. We've had something like 130 updates to the game so far, so pretty cool.
That's about 10 a year. That's a pretty quick pace. So thanks for taking the time to do this. And I'm in game. I am Prestor. That's what we'll call myself. I'm Prestor, and I see you waving at me. So I'm gonna have to get used to the commands here. I tried to /wave at you, and it didn't quite work the way I thought it would. There we go. It's apparently not a valid command for me. Was it like /emote wave or something like that?
You can put stars around it, or for wave, you can just hit J, and it will wave automatically.
Oh.
Or it should.
Look, it did. It was fully functional. Thank you. So, okay. Do you want to give us a quick background about Asheron's Call? Who's Asheron, or if Asheron is a who, and what's kind of like the overarching narrative that we've seen in the game for the past 13 years?
We'll start off with Asheron is an Empyrean, which is the race of beings that actually inhabited this land originally. He was experimenting with portal magic for the summary story, and he basically had a problem where he sent all the other Empyreans away for safety and brought all us humans and other races to this planet. So everyone came to this planet fresh. They started a new civilization, and then over the years, he's continually made things worse with bad decisions. So we've had terrible bosses. We've had beings that rise up out of the earth. We just had a big arc with a human who was taken over by dark forces and tried to conquer parts of the land and even destroyed one of the cities of Dareth. So it's pretty much always something big going on here.
All right. So what do you have in store for us this evening?
Well, we could take a look at what some of the early quests are that players run in and how they get to learn the game, and we could take a look at a couple of high-level areas and anything else you'd like to see.
That sounds great.
If you click the faces, the little head icon down in the bottom right.
Right next to the dove.
It's right next to the dove icon below.
Okay.
And then if you click on the Fellowship tab, you should be able to click automatically.
Fellowship request.
Got it.
There. And then you should be able to click automatically accept fellowship requests, and we can get you in the group.
I got it.
All right, there we go. You should have a yellow gem in your inventory. You open your bag in the bottom right.
I see it.
And if you just double click that gem, it'll bring us right to where we're going to head out for our first one. This is called the Facility Hub. This is our Asheron's Call overall is a pretty hands-off game where players are left to their own devices to figure out where to go and what to do and what path they want to level. So this just helps new players go through for several levels of the game. Gives them guided experience, direct to quests, so they don't have to try and figure out all the massive land that is there.
Okay, so So this would be a very sandbox style game then.
Yeah, it's extremely sandbox where you can just hunt all the time if you want. You can run quests. You can basically just approach the game any way you want. There's no you have to take this path to finish. If you double click this guy right here, he gives you access to the first quest, and if you want to feel what we're heading to do after you've I think you're hitting the door instead of
Sorry about that.
right.
He did tell me that I mean I did see the quest down at the bottom where he wants us to locate an ancient arbalist and return to him with it, and that's if we want his reward, of course.
Just head in that portal, and that drops us out right by the quest location. That's the nice thing of the facility, how it takes people right where they need to go, so they don't have to figure out where on this massive land mass that quest is.
Awesome. I appreciate the fact that my first quest giver is sarcastic.
But we actually have a lot of those in game. So we have a pretty drunken fellow that each month gives people info on the patch that players tend to like.
The drunken prophet gives the patch notes in this game.
Yes. We'll just go through this portal and we'll be into our first dungeon, and creatures will be all over us ready to start killing us.
Awesome. I don't know if Mark shared with you guys, but there is actually a live stream of this that you could watch, or someone in the room could watch if you so choose. If you don't have that URL, just let me know. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, we've got you set up here. We're watching now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just keep in mind there's going to be like a 20-second delay or so, that's a heck of a jump.
So we just jump down here. And
Trying to get a control of the controls.
Unlike most games, you actually have control over your jumps. You can jump farther or shorter, and there's actually a lot of jump puzzles that use that.
So there's actually, you said there's a lot of jump puzzles in this?
Yeah, since there's actually directly a skill in trying to time just the right distance of your.
Yeah. What's old is new again. I think I'm going to need to turn my sound. They're starting to drown you guys out. Let's see. There we go. Sorry about that. You were saying something about these, we're being attacked, it would appear.
You found some friends.
Yes.
That'll be happening most times in Asheron's Call, pretty much everywhere you go.
That's good. I should probably warn you that I like to die. And not that I necessarily like to do it, it's just one of those things that happens quite a bit.
All you have to do to get into combat in this game is you click the little dove icon in the lower right.
Uh-huh.
That turns you into combat mode, and then with the melee in our game, you actually have heights to attack. Creatures will be vulnerable depending on their height and depending on the creature, so it's part of the knowledge that you learn. And you have a power bar, which determines how strong your attack is or how quick it is. You do have some control of your melee attacks, unlike in a lot of other games.
Oh, okay. So there's high, medium, and low power attacks.
Right. With our game, a lot of times, you'll actually be facing a lot of creatures at once. We don't tend to put you in fights where it's just one-on-one. There's usually 5-on-1 or 10-on-1 creatures everywhere.
Fair odds.
And if all you do is have to click on a target and then just click the attack height you want, and your guy just starts swinging away at him until he's dead.
Well, clicking on him, I think I have him targeted. I'm not quite sure.
You should you'll see little orange corners around the target to let you know he's selected.
Oh, okay. I'm probably a bad clicker.
You can also hit backspace and the bracket keys if you don't want to try and click on it with a mouse with a lot of people around.
Oh, okay. So the bracket keys will kind of like the old tab targeting.
Yeah, those will scroll right through the targets. We also gave you our newest skill, which is summoning. You should have a device in your backpack that looks like a little golem. If you double click that, it'll just pull a big golem out in the world who just starts smashing things to bits. It's that item that's on your hotbar, number 5, so you can actually just hit the number 5.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
There you go.
That big guy is yours, and he'll just start smashing away at all the creatures for you.
I'll just sit back here and watch them.
We just added that this month, actually, so it's new for all our players. And as you level up, you can get a whole bunch of different types of creatures, skeletons, lizards.
So there's a bunch of different. Is he considered like a combat style pet, or is this whole golem system kind of new? And I'm trying to attack the skeleton, and I realize that I think he's a player character.
That's someone else's pet that they pull up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a little different than other games. These won't follow you around,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't the world too long. They're mostly fire and forget. You pop them out, they pound on things, you go further in the dungeon, and you bring out a new one to start destroying more things.
Think of it as a summoning spell rather than a path.
Understand. More like a Dungeons and Dragons type,
Very much.
old school summon monster. That's supposed to be my companion.
Right.
So as we're doing this, we talk. How's the character progress? Like, so we're killing these. I want to call them Zephyrs.
Yes, that's correct.
So as we're killing these, I mean, a lot of people are probably used to gaining, experience, and that way. Do you gain experience through killing mobs in Asheron's Call, or how does your character progress?
Yeah, you get experience from all your kills, and from completing quests, just like in other games.
Mm-hmm.
With our game, the big thing is the loot system. It's fully randomized loot system, so as you're killing creatures, pretty much any creature can drop the best piece of loot. You don't have to only get your loot from quests. You don't have to only hunt certain things. Even this rat could drop the best breastplate that you could possibly get. So every single creature you kill, you could be getting that next great item. That's one of the favorite features for a lot of our players. We haven't been looting too much because we're just kind of storming through there, but as you just open each creature, they'll all have a few pieces of loot, and it randomizes the stats, the levels, the spells on it. And with that experience, you have a skill panel, which is that nice, strong bicep down in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
You pick your skills you want to spend the XP into, and that raises up your character's ability in whatever skills you want.
Okay, so is there really classes, or is it more like you start off with kind of a generic archetype, and then you develop your character from there?
There's no classes. On the character creation screen, we give you some suggestions if you're used to certain classes in other games. But you also have the ability to just completely build whatever you want, any mix of skills you want. And just about everything's viable in our game. So you can be a mage wielding plate mail that also carries around 2 daggers and stabs people to death. I mean, it's all up to you how you want to approach the game. We give you a lot of freedom in that.
Do we want to go through this door, or is that locked shut?
Yeah, we were just kind of killing those for fun, I think. You don't even have to go that way to complete the quest. Somebody got a little stab happy there.
I just figured we'd kill him through the gate. It's like, haha, you can't hit me. And now they're like, oh, yes, we can.
Asheron's Call is pretty old school in that way. You can kill through doors. If you're an archer, you can perch up on top of things. You can use your environment a lot to
Mm-hmm.
yourself advantage.
that gets me to ask about. I know this server's not, but you guys, do you still have a full loot player versus player server?
Yeah, we have Dark Tide, which is your PvP all the time, and when someone kills you, you will drop a certain percentage of your items. They can loot those right off you. Pretty, as we put it, a harsh existence on that world.
Probably had too few level cap. Is there any safe areas, or is
the only safe areas if you have a house or if your guild has a mansion, you're safe inside there if you want to be.
Okay.
You can actually choose to lower the barriers and allow people to attack in their houses too. So, kind of up to them.
It's awesome. I brought my golem back out. He's stomping the skeleton.
It's definitely old school PvP. Like, even when you start off in the world, it's not a safe tutorial area. As soon as you pop out, they can smack you dead. Kill you. You get, after you've been killed, you have 5 minutes of protection, and then you're full on PvP again. So.
Hi, welcome to our game. We'll kill you now. So how many different...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, how many playable races are there? It looks like so far every one of us is different.
Yeah, it used to be up until just a couple of years ago, you could only play human races. But since then, we've added Empyreans, which were the original settlers of this planet, as you can see on our new friend. That guy that's standing there. That's not with us. And you can play Shadows, Tomb Rocks, which is what you are, Gear Knights, which is what Geneva War Mage is, and there's Illugians, Skeletons, Zombies, and on certain worlds you can even, we have Oldboy, which was meant as a casual player's ability to get into Dark Tide to play right away. It's a creature that's always on PvP. So you can pop in as an Oldboy and it'll be level 160, I believe. And you can just get right into PvP.
So what is the level cap now? 160?
275.
275. So with 13 years of game comes a lot of levels.
It does. The lower levels have sped up a lot since then, but
yeah,
definitely you wouldn't complete as fast as a lot of other games. That item that we picked up is what we want, so we can use the yellow gem now to just teleport back and put it in for our reward.
One thing about Asheron's Call is we don't have an artificial additive or subtractive math based on level. So once players get into the 150 to 180 range, they start maxing out some of their skills to become viable to do a lot of the more powerful quests. So you don't have to get to max level in order to do all of the endgame content. There's a much wider range of levels in which you can participate with the higher level people and get the best loot.
Okay, so as long as you can max out a certain amount of your skills to make you viable for a certain, like a tank or DPS per se or healer, you don't have to be 275. You just have to be like a max healer, and then you can participate in the end level content.
Correct.
All right.
I get it.
Usually people start getting the best loot between 150 or 180. And then they can get advanced type of experience called Luminance at level 200, which provides alternate advancement, and certain quests and creatures will give Luminance in addition to XP and loot.
You should have an Arbalist, which is just a little crossbow in your backpack. Just drag that to the guy and he'll award you with a whole bunch of XP.
Gotcha. There we go. Oh, only about 1 million.
Not much.
Oh no, I did get a. You've earned 1,143,480 experience points and 17 skill credits available to raise skills and attributes. You've earned 987,999 experience, and I reached level 35. Ding.
Now you can spend that experience to raise your skills and attributes directly. If you click the little strong arm icon, you go right to your skills and attributes screen and then raise things whatever skill you want. You can buy new skills.
We'll head over and destroy a city of skeletons now. Continue on.
I think I raised my stamina.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't want to die.
Stamina is very useful because if you run out of it during a fight, you basically just start taking a lot of damage. It's our equivalent of being exhausted. So we'll just talk to this well-dressed guy over here. Let's go. See a skeleton that has an axe in his helmet.
Oh, he does have a nice shiny suit of armor.
So by getting that level, that brought you up to 35, which opens up these 3 quests in the hub. Each section is 5 levels. The last one was gated for level 30. This one's 35.
That guy's a bandit. He's got like a handkerchief on his face.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of pretty interesting cosmetic items you can wear. We added tailoring a couple years ago, which you can take any piece of armor and tailor the look over another piece that goes in the same slot. So that gave players a lot of freedom in how they want to look when they run around without having to worry about their stats.
Mm-hmm.
So it did open up like taking these little bandit masks there and tailoring it over a good helmet so they're strong and stylish all at the same time.
I could definitely see where the advantages in PvP would be for that. Someone was like, oh, he's just got some... You can't really tell what armor they're wearing, so you don't really know how difficult they are.
Yeah, you can, if you have a assessed person, it's one of the skills that helps you ID a person, see what their armor levels are, and all that kind of stuff. So that brings a whole other skill into the mix with PvP. Seems like we picked up a few followers from the server that are lending a hand too.
Sometimes that happens. Glad it's not open PvP because we'd probably find some followers and they wouldn't be helping us.
Yeah, they're not so helpful when they can actually kill you.
Yeah. So this is a nice change from the confines we were just in.
Our game has a lot of good mix of above ground and dungeon hunting, so you can do which kind of stuff you like.
Oh, this is cool. I don't know how I did this, but apparently I'm looking at the statistics of the Skeleton Lord. I can see that he has 65 strength, 75 endurance, 115 coordination. Kind of like inspecting him.
Yeah, if you right-click on them, it will ID them, and depending on how well your assessed creature skill is, will determine if you can successfully ID them or not.
Apparently I'm pretty good at assessing, but not when they're level 50. They turned it all question marks at that point.
Our assessed creature is also determined by the distance, so the further away you are, the harder it is by.
Gotcha. Let's see.
As these nice spells indicate coming in, our game is not timed to target like other games. It actually directly fires spells and missiles at a player, so you can physically step out of the way if you're paying attention. They won't automatically home in on you and hit you. So it adds a nice element of dodging, which a lot of our PvP players like.
Is there so I'm not too suave with the controls at the moment. I noticed that Q is like auto run forward for me, W is walk forward, and then X is walk backwards. Doesn't look like S really does a whole lot of anything for me. And then A and D are turn. Is there strafe in the game?
Z and C by default are your strafe left and right.
Okay, gotcha.
You can also use, remap your keys to something that you might be more familiar with.
I think I'm gonna do that. Let's see. Is it over in config?
Yeah, there's a little options at the bottom with the check marks, and it should be mapping.
Gameplay options, configure keyboard. W. Let's see.
Yeah. You can remap. Even click the use mouse turning, and it will have more traditional mouse turning with your right mouse button.
Oh, we're good now. Alright.
There you go. Feel better?
Yeah, now I don't feel like I got 2 left legs.
I often map target nearest enemy to a key too, and then have tabs to move through like traditional.
Look at you.
So as we massacred all these guys, we killed this special skeleton over here who has the quest reward on him.
And I missed it. Let's see. Combat. Target nearest enemy. Let's see. That's what I'm looking for right now. Is that where it's at? Is it in combat?
I think it might be under UI.
UI?
Yeah.
There we go.
Under UI, under the section titled Item Selection, it has a different select next monster, last attacker, all that kind of stuff.
Here we go. Alright. So we killed the special skeleton. He dropped the quest item, and you are at him.
Actually, yeah, we're about to kill him again, it looks like, too.
Good.
Respawns this game are pretty short, so people can stay in the action. Multiple groups can go through and finish a quest. Funny looking guy that has an axe sticking out of his head that we just killed drops an item called Jacob's Axe that you'll need.
So that brings it up. This is kind of like an open world style, let's see, where most of the quests are, they're not going to be, you know, instance like people are used to now. Like that last time, even though we teleported and we walked through like a gate, we didn't go into like a private instance. We were still in an open dungeon area that any other players could jump into, correct?
Right, our game doesn't have any instancing at all, so everywhere you go, other players can go. There's no limit to how many people can go on a quest, so really if the whole server wanted to pile on into a quest, they can do that.
Okay, and are like all the mobs open targeting? Like, could, if anybody picked all this loot off here, like let's say a person comes that's not in our group, and they start beating on the skeleton too, are they going to get credit for it as well, or are they going to have to kill it again?
Whoever kills it, that group gets credit for it, so then the next group would have to kill it again. But after you've opened something to loot it and closed it again, it becomes available for other people to start looting as well.
Okay. Well, I picked up the axe.
You should be able to head on back using the yellow gem.
I also picked up a mahogany flanged mace, a silver Kuija breastplate. Not exactly sure how to say that. Which is set with 2 black opals. Magnificent silver, very muddish in the descriptions.
Yeah, if it's just loot items, it doesn't have much in the way of descriptions. It'll mostly just have the stats listed on it.
Yeah.
You'll compare it to see if it's better than what you have and switch out as you go. You actually have to do one extra step for this quest, so
Okay.
type /Lightstone, that'll bring you back to Coburg. There's Lightstones all around the game that you can tie to just by double-clicking, and then whenever you type /Lightstone, you'll go back to that location. So right in the chat window, you just hit enter to open the chat window, and then /Lightstone. There you go.
Yeah, I misheard you. I thought you said light stones instead of life stone. So I was like, it didn't work for me. Something's going on. And then I saw everybody else's emote, so I figured it out.
So the life stones are those big blue things you'll find all throughout the towns and even not in towns in the game, so you can attach to wherever you want.
We have people chasing us down, letting us know that we can't hide from them. So, do we have to get her to Alcott, or?
We actually have to run down this hill over here. In our game, to go from town to town, we have a thing called the Town Network, which is a little underground dungeon that has portals to all the different towns in Dareth. We have to go to Arwick to give the man back his axe. It's the mean skeleton sitting in front of him.
Okay, so went to the Lifestone, and now we're running from the Lifestone to the town, to the portal that takes us to the Town Network.
Correct. So this is where you go to all the different towns in Dareth. It's actually broken up by heritage. So if you know that it's an alluvian town you're looking for, or a show town you're looking for, you just look at the sign and go down that path. Ours is an alluvian town. That's here. The other thing about the Town Network is all these pictures around are actually a bestiary for a game. You can right-click on any of them, and they'll give you information on that particular creature. All the halls have.
So this says that this Lugian has a value of 125 and it has 9,000 burden units.
Very heavy picture.
Oh, so it's
that's a weight and a value.
Is there encumbrance in the game?
There is. How much strength you have determines how much you can carry before you get encumbered, and then that starts affecting your combat and other things.
So I guess there's like no limit to your inventory, then it's just really how much you can stand to carry?
There's a limit, but it's pretty large. You can carry 8 different packs, and they can have a lot of space. It's pretty much more than just about any game out there. You can carry a lot of stuff. So we're going into Arwick. We're going to look for Jacob, whose axe you have.
We're collecting a following.
Jacob's right over here against this wall. Well, thank you for giving him his axe by giving you a very odd helmet.
Okay.
You just have to drag
yeah.
it over.
It's telling me that Jacob's axe can't be given. There we go. You found it. Wonderful. My patron went to great pains to find this axe for me. I gained not as many experience points as I did last time. I got an axe head helm out of the deal.
You'll gain a lot more experience when we go to the final guy.
Oh, gotcha.
I can actually show you that with your summoning skill, once you get to level 50, you can choose what type of summoning you want to go into. We have Necromancy, which is zombies, skeletons, and ghosts. We have Naturalists, which is wasps, reavers, which is a crazy spider-like creature, and moors, which are little lizards. Or you can choose Primalists, which is wisps and elementals, and our little gelatin cubes called gnats. So this is where you come when you get to that level and choose which path you want to go down for summoning.
Cool.
Now that we have that helm, we can go back into the facility hub with our gem and show the guy that we were successful. Probably get a whole nother level worth of XP.
Looking for the sharp-dressed man.
That is correct.
Sweet. 1.7 million experience.
We're pretty friendly with the XP in this game. The other aspect aspect this facility has is that it will send you to hunting dungeons where you can just kill creatures and collect one of their body parts and turn in for experience as well. There's actually a lot of hunting dungeons in our game that aren't really associated with quests, but players that like to just kill creatures and more creatures can go in there and hunt all day and just see how many they can kill.
One nice thing is if you get experience, you can put it into your skills and attributes directly. You don't have to wait till you go up a level. So especially at this level, every time you get experience, you can open up your attributes and skills tab and then decide what you want to raise. If you're having trouble hitting, you can raise your skill, or an attribute that will indirectly raise that skill, or as you've done already, you can increase your endurance for more survivability. And then the different skills and will lend themselves to different attributes.
Awesome. Yeah, I just went in there real quick and I upgraded my strength because it seemed like it was the highest of my other statistics, so I figured that'd probably be the way to continue to go. Do you guys want to go to one of these hunt dungeons and get away from Mr. Pumpkinhead here before he kills us? Was that a...
I'll be showing up again. Yeah, those are actually... That little scarecrow is... We have a lot of cosmetic pets in the game that you can get, and there's costumes that you can wear, and that's one of the nice costumes you can throw on to just look silly when you want.
So is this a bunch of different levels of hunt dungeons in here, and you just kind of...
Yeah, you pick the one you want to go into. We'll go with... we'll try the Soldier's Nest. It'll probably actually be a little bit tough for us.
Okay.
You said you like to die, so it's probably worth a shot.
You know, it's not an MMORPG.com Wayback Wednesday if I don't die. Normally, I've died by now, so we're actually kind of behind the power curve.
The nice thing is most of the facility hub quests can be handled solo, so having us in a group certainly helps make them a little bit easier.
What's with the green portal?
The portal color helps identify what level range it is.
Okay.
Green is pretty much right on target for us at our level. This dungeon is full of Ulthor, which was what the first real enemy in Asheron's Call, and it was what caused Asheron to send all the Empyreans away because they were basically killing all his people. So they're found all throughout Dareth, and they have hives and queens that control them.
I say they're kind of like giant beetles.
Yeah. So we'll basically just work our way through this dungeon, killing as we go until near the bottom they'll start dropping trophies, and we can collect those to turn in for experience.
Sounds good. One of the fellow site contributors stopped by and chat. He said to ask about Black Death Catacombs. This was his first MMO that he cut his teeth on.
That is a popular hunting spot, or at least it used to be a pretty popular spot. We have a lot of players in Asheron's Call who their favorite thing really is just to sit there and just kill creatures after creatures after creatures instead of questing or doing any types of missions, and that is a perfectly viable way to level in our game, and I'd like to support that style of play for anyone that likes it. That's hurt.
I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of this, actually targeting them and attacking them. My problem's I'm been so conditioned to like click on it and be like, all right, start auto attacking. And the guy's like, all right, I've targeted him. What do you want me to do now? It's like, oh yeah. Like,
Melee is probably the best class to learn on. Mages are a lot more complicated in our game because you have a lot of spells, like spells, all that kind of stuff. So.
Does my guy have any other skills besides the medium, you know, just besides selecting the power that I want to attack on?
There are other skills you can get, like we have a skill called Dirty Fighting, and depending on your skill and on which level height you choose, it will do either different debuffs or damage over time to the creature, so that can help you sway combat into your favor, depending on your height. You also have a skill called Recklessness, which, depending on the power you use, will cause you to do more damage to the target, but also take more damage from the target. So you have to be kind of strategic if you want to use that skill. So there are options that make melee a bit more interesting and a bit more involved.
Once you get sneak attack, positioning becomes more important too, because you can do extra damage from behind. But creatures with shields too, the shield doesn't count if you're behind. The positioning becomes important there as well. That's one of the nice things about summoning, is that your summoned creatures generally have sneak attack as well. So it's hard to use sneak attack when you're soloing, but if you send your summoned creature in first to grab the attention of creatures, you can kind of get in and get that extra damage from being behind it.
Oh, look at this one.
That's one of the summoning creatures you can get that I broke out just to help take down one of the ultimate. The Natural's Path, called a Griever. Kind of like a spider, but Asheron's Call tends to make its own little fantasy-type creature instead of going with the normal.
Looks like a metallic kind of deal. Let's see.
The game also has a wide variety of spells and effects that debuff creatures. A lot of the players find those invaluable, and so even if you're a melee, you'll eventually get either your debuff to assess creature and special weapons, or you'll pick up forms of magic to debuff creatures so that you do a lot more damage than attacking them, which adds another tactical element to playing melee.
And that right up ahead is Acid, which you don't want to stand it for too long. It will do damage to you if you just stand in it.
Yeah, I noticed I took a little damage from it standing in there. So do we need to run across this to progress through?
Yeah, as long as you run across it quick, you should be all right. So.
Okay, there you are.
You don't want to stop in the middle of it and have a whole combat while you're dissolving away into the...
It'd be fun.
Like one of the people running with us just did. back like stone now.
Look at that. I'm not the first person to die on the show. That's got to be a first.
Sadly, I'm not sure if we caught it on camera, though. It was shaming.
Was it actually a staff member, or was it just one of the followers?
No, this was one of the staff members. should be good to go on this, but yeah.
Let's see. What's the hot key to bring the group up? Oh, whoever died, they're alive again.
Yeah, you come back really quick in this game. It's just you get what's called Vitae, which decreases your abilities and decreases your health until you work it off with experience.
Gotcha.
Also, drop a couple of your items, which will stay on your corpse until you run over to pick them up. Like old school style, where you get a little bit of punishment for failure.
So, one of the things I really like to ask people is, what's something that's kind of, your calling card, or hallmark to the game that you guys really did first, but seeing as you're probably one of the, third or fourth MMO that came out, there's probably not a whole lot you didn't do first. So, I guess, what do you think is one of the things that Asheron's Call may have done first and best, and that's helped it survive, 13 years?
I'd probably say the randomized loot, and I think we were probably the first one to do that. It's one of the things that keeps players going, because instead of, like other MMOs where you run around and most of those creatures you kill are going to drop absolutely nothing that you care about, you always have the chance of just finding that good stuff. And yeah, the other big thing for people is just the freedom. They're not stuck in a class. They're not stuck playing the rogue. We definitely don't have Trinity. Everyone heals themselves. Everyone tanks. Everyone does damage. So even when you're running in groups, you tend not to have the trinity that you're stuck with in other MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
It's overall, the game's just kind of a whole different approach. From the non-standard fantasy elements of creatures that only exist in Asheron's Call, the style of play, it's something you won't really get anywhere else.
So you guys have had 130 updates, you said, so far?
Yeah, I think we had a little bit over that, yeah.
What kind of things do you introduce in each of these updates that keep the game going?
Our standard update is pretty much every month. That has new quests, new rewards, sometimes new hunting areas to find. And what we've been starting to do is we do a couple extra big updates each year where we either add new skills, which is where summoning came from. We added void magic, two-handed combat, dual wielding, and all that recently. And we'll do other big patches where, like this one, where we added a whole new loot tier. So you have a better loot than you could have ever gotten before. We'll add a new giant hunting area with several quests out of it. And we try to expand it in different ways throughout the year as much as we can.
Now, when you guys introduce new skills and stuff like that, do people, can they like respec? Can you take points out of skills that you've already learned and then respend them in other branches of the trees, or how does that work?
Yeah, there are a couple different methods to untrain skills in the game, and typically when we add new skills, we reset the timers or the cost for doing that, so players can right away hop in on patch and change their characters around if they want to try out the new skills right away.
Okay, so you're not stuck re-rolling when a patch comes out.
You can actually, there's an NPC that you can go to that will actually just untrain all your skills, and then you can pick which ones you want to bring back up and how you want to rebuild your character.
Gotcha. I don't know about you, but I didn't actually loot anything, and it looks like we're at the end because there's a teleport here.
Still a little ways to go.
Oh, okay.
But usually when you find the creatures that you need to kill, you'll get a little message in chat that will basically say that one of their pincers broke off, and then you just pick it up and you go and turn it in for XP.
Gotcha. I think I might have got stuck with the rest of the train, and you actually pulled ahead of us. Yeah, that's what happened. Look at this. Big old mushrooms. Oh, tried to jump on it, didn't work.
Yeah, the mushrooms are actually, we cheated a little bit with those. They have extra high physics. Every now and then we don't actually want people perching, so we kind of steer them away from that.
I tried, though. Do we want to go down here? Oh, got my...
Yeah, we just came.
One thing about Asheron Call is it's very much an explorer's game.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the tools that handhold you in other games we don't have. But some people have asked, why don't you have maps and sort of a whole questing system, but a lot of players like the exploratory aspect of the game. It rewards knowledge, they have to sort of pay attention to where they're going. And some of the dungeons are very complex.
Okay, so there's no maps in the game? Or they're very generic, if they do exist?
There are no in-game maps. But, explore in the dungeon and remember where you've been and where you're going. Otherwise you get lost like we may be right now.
I could probably eventually find my way out of here, but it would definitely take a while.
All the right wall, man.
So when in doubt, you can always go back to
go.
Lifestone or use, for instance, the gem to go to the facility hub again.
So this creature that's right in front of me dropped the pincer, the one that's right below my sword. So if you pick up that pincer, we'll turn that in.
Now, will everybody be able to pick up a pincer, or am I the only one?
We're the only one, but in this area, if we wanted to all get them, there are actually, once you get to this area, there's a whole bunch of the Olthoi that drop them, so you just basically kill just a few more.
Gotcha.
You know.
So at this
one like Lightstone again, so we can go to the back to the town network.
As you can see, the players in your chat are trying to give you helpful hints too.
Yeah, I see that. Hit the number pad, enter, to reset the camera. And now we run down to this portal over here.
Yep. Cool.
Look at that.
And we'll be going into a different town than before.
Don't play again.
So with the pincers, once you get the hang of it, there's one guy that collects all of them. So no matter which dungeon you do, you just go back to that same guy and give him your latest pincer and he rewards you. And if you like that kind of stuff, then you can actually do that once a week. All the quests in Asheron's Call are time-based, so you can go back and repeat all the ones that you actually like.
Okay, so you said once a week, like I couldn't go back and just get this pincher one again?
Right, you'd have to go do one of the other levels, or...
Gotcha.
It's real time, not game time, so if you play like only on weekends, then you'll tend to come back to your stuff being reset and ready to go. This guy right over here, pretending to read from the bookcases, we'll give that pincher to. And he'll actually give you a couple extra little things that can help you out, like a healing kit, trade note, which is one of our forms of money, a bracelet that has some spells on it. So.
Gave me 50,000 trade notes. Gave me almost 2 million experience points. Hit level 40. Started out level 36. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, when we brought you in, you were level 34, so you can see how quickly you actually progress through the low levels. A lot of the quests at low level will give you a level more of experience, so you can level through pretty quickly. So we could continue on through the hub, or we could make you not be able to die and bring you out to some of the high-level areas that you can actually hope to hunt right now. Or
I get just whatever you would think that the typical Asheron's Call player would want to do at this point. Let's go check that out.
All right, I'm gonna actually cheat a little bit and set it so that you die.
I like this Black Knight's fuzzy bunny slippers.
People get pretty creative with their looks.
Yeah, a lot of net.
And we have some chat that says people want to go to NetPet. Desert, hidden desert cities that the players who were able to reveal other players hunt there. That's what
So a hidden desert city where players
players were able to reveal the whole city, and it would cause creatures to rise from the sand that had been lost for history. So the whole thing is full of canyons and high-level dangerous creatures.
Sounds great. So what really, a big thing nowadays, which really wasn't as big when this game first came out, is the quote-unquote end game. What really does somebody, when they're at level 275, continue to do to develop their character and play the game in Asheron's Call?
Well, one nice thing is, in other games, there are certain, first of all, you can get good loot in any of the activities in this game. Because it's randomized,
Uh-huh.
you don't really have the perfect suit. Even if you have a very, very good suit, there's always a chance of another piece dropping that's better than one of your pieces. Some of the people have really good suits, and it's very unlikely that some of the pieces will get better, but then they can always get good gear that they can trade. It's not like once you get everything from a specific piece of content in other games, you have no reason to return. You can basically do your favorite content here, and there's always a, oh, someone who was not protected. Your mortality was exaggerated, apparently.
Yes. Yes. They tricked me, damn it. I didn't die yet, so they're like, well, we'll get him. Alright, I'm back.
Round 2. Ding.
Okay, hopefully now you're actually.
So once you get to, let's say you progressed and got to, say, level 200, there's a whole nother way of enhancing your character through these enhancements called augmentations.
Mm-hmm.
You can do quests, and you get to pick new augmentations every time you do the quest. There's another alternate system where you get luminance, and luminance is sort of a heroic, high-end experience with which you can buy buffs, permanent buffs to your characters, and you can always get better loot. And especially now, where we just introduced a whole new loot tier, the players can be hunting for those pieces. Also, another thing about the game is there's no bind on equip or bind on pickup, other than specific quest items. So when you find randomly generated loot, you can always trade it, and you can pass it down to other characters, which means that when you're looting on your main, you can always have a chance of dropping something that's really good for an alt character.
Okay, so that being said, how does the economy in the game work? Is there any kind of bazaars or player trading, or is there...
The players trade with each other. A lot of them will have decal programs to have trade bots, but they basically arrange for trade socially.
I like the chat room's confidence in us. They're like, I'm going to die.
And I did. That's probably not going to die now. with my 95,000 health.
Goes quick. I've made that mistake running live events. Where I'll bump my health to 200,000 and players will be like, that's not enough.
This is one of our newer areas that we just added about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
One of the nice aspects of it was we hadn't really ever done anything that also affected the Z-axis, so that you actually had 3 dimensions of climbing up hills, hunting on top. Before that, everything was, just always on the same ground, everything else. Players seem to like it a lot. It's still one of their favorite places to hunt.
Did you go through the portal? Because I don't see you. I see some of the other guys. There you are. Now I see you.
I may have accidentally jumped off the cliff.
That happens. Did you die?
No, you can actually, you're kind of superhuman in this game. You can jump and fall really big distances without really getting hurt too much.
In the lore, Earth actually is supposed to have less gravity than Earth. You can see that in this game because you can jump super high, but also if you play AC2, you'll see that the jump tends to be slower, and they actually animated it to be much more like jumping on the moon than on Earth. So when people start playing AC2, it seems the animations seem a little strange to them, but that was actually intentional.
This is actually one of the biggest quests in the area, so...
Right. You actually have a jumping skill, by the way, so that will get much higher once your jump skill goes.
Yeah, you can directly put points into jump so that you can continue to jump higher and further.
Oh, I see this. I didn't even open up the skills tab earlier, so there's jump right there.
Also a run skill so you can keep up your speed a little bit.
I just dumped a lot of experience points into jump. Now, you were talking about live events. Do you guys actually have community members get onto the servers and run live events anymore?
Sure. I haven't done it for a couple months. I did it, 3 months ago, where I ran a live event. We try to do stealth live events instead of pre-announced. I'll jump on and do it. I want to surprise the players with them rather than having large pre-announced events. Usually the pre-announced events are tough because the players all crowd the servers, and when you pre-announce, they have a giant expectation of a giant expectation of world events that they're very hard to manage as a single or even a coordinated team of devs. So we tend to do smaller live events. We have some special effects that we can use as admins to make the world change, and the players seem to enjoy those types of things. It was a nice job. Well done.
Thank you. What are you doing, War Raptor? He's running away from me. He sees the threat I pose. He's like, I gotta get away from this guy that jumped across that. He's probably gonna kill me.
Actually said it so they shouldn't attack you unless you attack them.
Oh, I did.
I'll keep you alive a little bit longer.
Alright, I'll run away. There we go. I made the jump back. He probably won't.
No, creatures don't jump across stuff.
There we go. Look at that. I'm figuring things out. So what's inside this temple up here? I saw that there was a purple portal on it.
We can run in and take a look.
Alright, sounds great. Yeah, there's a pink person. Hi, you're very pink. Caramel kiss. Thank you.
You have to keep sufficient levels of cuteness.
So, wide range of armor colors in this game, from bright to pretty ugly to everything in between. Certain players pride themselves on trying to go with very ugly, bright orange suits just to blind others as they run by.
They're prison escapees.
One of our newer quests, so it has newer art, unlike the other dungeons you saw, which were pretty much just flat, bland walls everywhere.
That's pretty round up there. Looks like a higher polygon count maybe than some of the older stuff.
Yeah, because this was just added very recently, so we started pushing the limits of this old engine lately. So with this dungeon, we have to basically destroy everything on the bottom floor, so the doors on the top floor will let us through.
Oh, this is an interesting camera angle. I hit enter and it's a top down, panned way out. Actually, I like this. It feels more like a it feels like a gold box D&D game from SSI. All right, sorry.
Yeah, outside you can zoom out to where you're just one tiny pixel and really get a good look at what's around you.
Who gave the zombie a shield?
We like to be mean like that. Players yell at us when we do that. But
Where's a mummy find a shield at? Whose idea was that? It's a Mumia Guardian. I'm sorry, it's not a mummy.
yeah, even when we copy traditional fantasy elements, we change the name to make it look like it's not traditional fantasy.
I gotcha.
The players are saying if you slide your power bar, you'll swing slower but hit harder. or you can slide your power bar to the left and hit faster, swing faster, but you'll hit lighter. You can play with that if you want to hit harder versus swinging the power bar.
Oh yeah, I've got it on high now. I did have it on medium.
Well, there's a little thing in the very center where the red bar is going up. It's like a little
Yeah.
bar.
Oh, gotcha.
Right, that will change that, whereas the other one is the height variant.
Oh, see, I saw the power right there next to it, so I was thinking, oh, high power, medium power,
It's more
low
like,
power.
you know, uppercut, gut shot, you know, type thing.
Ah, look at that. Thank you, chat room.
Now you'll swing slower, but each hit will do more damage. And recklessness is tied to that bar.
Apparently I had his shield targeted and I was just attacking his shield.
Yeah, that can be a little tricky at times.
There you go, I'm going to whack him in the head. Oh, they're dropping loot. Oh, speaking of which, earlier I found just random piles. I don't know if maybe somebody else had killed something. They look kind of like this, so maybe that was the case. Somebody killed something and didn't loot it.
Certain creatures that are, you know, elemental based or ghost based, they drop a little treasure pile instead of leaving a corpse. That essentially is their corpse that you're leaving.
Alrighty. I was thinking maybe it was some kind of a... Is there crafting in this game of any type?
There's not crafting in the traditional sense. We have tinkering, which is you take your loot items, and the ones that you don't want, you can salvage for materials, and you can apply those materials to your weapons and your armor, and it will actually make them better. So it ties right into the loot system. Instead of having people create weapons, they improve the gear that you actually find.
Sounds great. Oh, just ran into what appeared to be an empty corridor. So it's the big bad in here that we're looking for.
Well, first we have to clear out all these little guys.
Oh, that's right, so we can open.
This quest works off of staging, so if you clear out the bottom floor, it gives you access to the second floor. Kill a couple bosses there, which gives you access to the final boss, and then it's just you versus him. One thing that we did with the newest loot tier was, in all of the dungeons that carry the new loot tier, we hid chests throughout them that can only be opened with the lockpick. There are no keys for them, so that gives that skill some extra use, and you get an extra little pull of random loot as you run through the dungeon. In this dungeon, there's one right down this.
You were a fast man for all that plate armor.
So when they go to do these quests, they're hunting out these chests, and then if someone in the group has a lockpick, they can open it for everyone in the group. Each person can open it separately and get their own pull of free loot as they're going through the quest.
Let's see. It would not appear that I have lockpicking trained.
I have magic lockpick. Now you can open that chest because I've unlocked it.
Sweet, because
just get a bunch of random loot that is all yours.
a gold pea, in case I get hungry later on.
So that's actually coming from the top tier of the loot, so you could basically get the most powerful weapon or the strongest piece of armor in the game right out of that one chest if you're lucky enough.
Okay, well, let's see, how lucky was I? I got, because I won't know. I got a satin smock. I got a green garnet acid Conda handled mace. I got an oak flaming stick and a silver acid compound crossbow, bronze gorget, and a gold pea.
So like if you ID stuff like the crossbow, it'll have a list of spells on it. If it has legendaries on it, then those are the best spells that you can get.
Spell description: Aura of Incantation of Swift Killer Self, Major Arcane Prowess, Incantation of Coordinations, Aura of Infected Caress, and Epic Weapon Tinkering Expertise.
That bow's not exactly that great, but if you really want to mess with the people watching, you can just say that one of the pieces of armor you found in there had triple legendaries on it.
Yay! My satin shirt has triple legendaries.
And that
They're not biting.
Probably make them even more mad, as if you were to find a rare as you were running through the dungeon.
Yeah, I probably would. They're like, ah.
We can just continue back on and continue slaughtering all the little...
Sounds good. I see ya. I caught up. So what's next for AC? Coming down in the next few, next 3 months, 6 months, the rest of 2013 for your 13th year?
Well, we just finished our big update. Our next big update will be in August, because we do 2 a year, in which case we'll have extra goodies and new things at that time, so they can expect that. We had a big story arc end recently, so the players will be able to see the beginnings of what mad machinations we have planned for them in the coming months to start the next story arc. That will be going on. I don't want to reveal too much about August because we're still in the beginning stages of finalizing what we'll be doing, and it's still a ways off for us. But I think that I think the players would be excited to have a new story arc, since the last story arc just wrapped up and was actually long and involved.
That's awesome. Sorry, I was concentrating on killing that mummy there before I get you. I'm trying to get my golem out here so he can crowd the halls with us. Your summons is too low to use that item's magic.
One thing we do try to do with Asheron's Call is we believe, since we have the monthly events, a constant improvement to the game. So although we do have some bigger events, we want the game to get better from month to month with a constant trickle of improvement and new content. And maintaining a monthly release schedule allows us to do that, even though sometimes it gets kind of hectic because it's so quick.
Have any of you guys been with the project since it originally came out? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I think the longest person on the team's been on it, 8 years there?
Yeah, I've been on the team for 8 years.
We have someone that's been with it for 8 years, which is longer than most MMOs have been around, but I don't think we don't have anyone left on this team that's worked on it from the beginning, but we still have people around the company that have been here since that early on.
They've retired. Those that started on this game.
So as you can see, you sometimes get swarmed by...
Well, these got a new skin type than the ones we saw down there. Like, this was actually kind of got like glowing tattoo bands around his biceps. It's interesting look.
There's actually a newer creature that came out with this hunting area when we introduced it. They're basically a type of elemental that have been enslaved by the mummies.
So I'm getting I'm seeing chat that you guys have a housing system in the game.
We do. You houses are right on the landscape. That you can go buy a house if your allegiance is big enough in size. You can also get a mansion, which everyone in your allegiance can recall to and share storage and all that kind of stuff. So it's not off instant like in other games. It's right there. Anyone in the world can go run to your house and look at it. Trapped away from everybody.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I got Gene here with me. And so are these just? I guess are these just cosmetic over here? These chests or these? Yeah.
These creatures will actually randomly drop keys that you can pick up to open those chests.
Oh, I need to start looting then. Oh, got a key.
It should list what type of key it is. If it's armor key, weapon chest key.
It was a sandstone something key. Let me open up my bag here. Sandstone magic key.
Those chests are over on the other section of the upstairs. We can go run to.
Yep. Where are you going? We're like the Keystone Cops here.
The magic chests are over here along this wall.
The magic chest is locked. Well, locked magic chest. I have a key for you.
In that case, all you do is just double-click the key, and then you click the little targeting icon on the chest. And then you double-click the chest again, and you'll be able to.
What did we find? Quill of Infliction, Ink of Formation, Quill of Benevolence, Ink of Conveyance, a Gold Covenant Helm. It's got legendaries on it. Satin Bandana, Bronze Slashing Compound Bow. Alright.
Those inks and quills are actually used to create your top-level spells if you're a mage. Crafting system to get your spells.
Alright, let's see here. Oh. Didn't have a winner that time on the helmet either. Oh well. Just keeps you going. Get the next piece of loot.
Now we've killed most of the bad guys. The doors to the main boss should now be open for us.
Okay. I'm in here right behind you.
You got some nice steam there. Relaxing. Homies get dry skin. They need a place.
This guy's got like some nice punching weapons.
Yeah. Although we have a skill called, or we have weapons called unarmed. They're actually weapons that you hold, which is an aspect of Asheron's call. But they're all weapons that they use to punch with, and they're pretty fast weapons. A lot of players like to use them in PvP because of that ability to switch to and from them pretty quick, and they attack really fast.
Now I know what to take off somebody if I ever kill them in PvP. Take their punching weapon.
They drop their weapons in PvP. You can definitely take those. They won't be too happy about that.
So we've already ascended to the top floor.
This guy's just patiently waiting for us, and as soon as we attack him, he'll shut the doors so we can't run back out of here. On all his minions to help him.
Oh. Oh, you made pretty quick work of him there. Oh, actually, I got behind him and hit him for over 3,000 points. Okay.
So this little guy is gratefully free, so talking to him will give you experience, reward you, and should give you a key that you can use out on those chests right there, which is your choice. If you're looking for weapons or if you're looking for armor, you got to choose which chest you want to pull from.
Let's get armor.
Your key actually has 4 uses. You can open 4 different chests while you're in there.
Oh, really?
That's one of our top-level reward systems, so that you basically get a bunch of free random loot at the end of your quest.
I don't see anything in the chest, though. That was... Is there a chance that the chest can be empty?
Not really. If you move your guy just right while it's opening, you can kind of escape yourself out of the chest as you're opening it.
Yeah, I must have done that. Sounds great. Look here, kids. Don't do what this guy did. Imperial de Forza breastplate. That sounds interesting. Let's check that one out. Piece of acid-proof set. Archer's Bane, infliction persistent, impenetrability 6, epic fitness weapon aptitude, and acid Bane 6.
Still not quite a winner there, but
Alright, let's see what else we got. Got some...
Armor is part of the set, so if you wear enough pieces of the same set, you get extra
Oh!
bonus.
Legendary light weapon aptitude. Got a lot of stuff on this one. These flawless silver Nereid sleeves of strength, epic tinkering expertise, light weapon, or legendary light weapon aptitude, might of the Lugians, incantation of bludgeon bane, swordsman bane, incantation of flame bane, incantation of impenetrability. Did I get a winner?
Better than what you've been pulling. Most players would probably prefer if it had a legendary heavy weapon on it instead of light weapon. More people tend to use that skill because it does a bit more damage.
Yeah. Let's see. I get to use my key some more. What the heck? I did it again. I was trying to loot, and I clicked off it, and I walked away.
Yeah, if you walk away from the chest when it's open, it'll close on you.
Alright, got a lot of gold stuff. Let's see if we got anything good. Nope.
That is the downside of random loot.
No, that's alright.
Sometimes you just won't get anything too interesting.
It's like playing Scratchers, only it's not costing us anything.
Pretty much. Not sure we necessarily refer to it that way.
Legendary Arcane Prowess increases the target's arcane lore skill by 35 points. Additional spells can be layered over this.
You're mostly getting the least interesting legendary spells. The main combat spells, wards, which protect you from extra damage. Those are the ones people seek out the most.
Alright, and back to the legendary lightweight. Yeah. Well, you know, at least 2 of them had legendary stuff on them.
Well, at the end of this quest, we can either run out somewhere or what have you.
Actually, getting close to the end of the time that we guys had set aside, so I do appreciate you coming and showing us what you guys got going on here. And real quick, if you want to go around the table, is there anything that you guys would like to leave the players with before the end of the evening?
Like a great thing for Rob to start off with.
Well, whether that or something is kind of imminent that we just announced it this week, but I want to make sure that the invitation is out there for any existing AC players who are coming out to the Penny Arcade Expo here on the East Coast in Boston this coming month. We're going to be having a player appreciation party, so you can RSVP at turbine.com. If you come out, you'll get a chance to meet some of us. But we have details on the Turbine YouTube channel and also on the community forums for anybody who's interested.
Okay. And if you couldn't hear, that was RSVP at turbine.com for the Penny Arcade in Boston meet and greet, the Turbine Party, correct?
I just wanted to remind players who are listening that Asheron's Call 2 is also available if you play Asheron's Call 1. And you can play either or both games if you wish. So a lot of players like that. They like switching back and forth. So that's pretty cool.
I guess I'll just say that we're going to keep leaving all these patches coming. We got plenty more content. I think we got a fun story arc coming up that players are going to like. A bit more than the last one. I think it's really going to touch on some stuff that our players find to be the exciting part of the game. Anyone else?
Absence mind, yes. Free drinks.
Free drinks on Turbine. You heard it here, guys. Well,
There's 200 people at the party. Free drinks.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to show us Asheron's Call. It's one of the first MMOs that came out. It's, you know, the quintessential sandbox as far as playing the game the way you want to, developing your character, making them the way you want it to be, and not having to be a predetermined class that the game has pre-made. So, thanks for spending the last, hour and a half with us. I greatly appreciate it. And everybody at home, thanks for coming out and watching, and you have a great night.
All right, thank you.
You as well, thank you.
Thanks.